Hello everyone, and welcome to Hello MD Live. I'm your host, Eliza Maroney, and today we're talking about anxiety. It is no unknown fact that 40 million Americans are actually suffering from anxiety in various forms. That's nearly 1 in 6 people. So today we're going to be talking about the ways that you can cope, as well as applying CBD to help with any lingering feelings that you're going through. So we have some amazing hosts with us today. I'm really excited to introduce both of you ladies. Thank you for being here. We have Jenna Monaco. She is the host of the podcast Spark Intention. She also is a coach and I would say expert in dealing with these things. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I also have Kelly Ryan sitting right next to me. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
She is the founder and owner of Anchor Meditation in San Francisco. She seeks to inspire her community by offering meditation and mindfulness classes. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
How are you both doing today?
Great.
So good.
This is an exciting show because I think that anxiety is something that a lot of us have dealt with. Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So let's start by talking a little bit about you both and learning your stories. So Jenna, would you tell us a little bit about how you came to be here today? Tell us a little bit about your podcast and what people can expect from it.
Yeah, of course. So my journey through anxiety was quite the messy process, as it usually is, and that's I've learned to be okay with. And so my anxiety journey, I was actually a really happy kid, but my dad was an alcoholic, and so as I progressed into being a teenager, the anxiety started to kick in. And it really came to a head when he passed away, about a year after that, when the dust had settled. And kind of backtracking a little bit, the year prior to my dad's passing, it was deemed unsafe to live in my home. So my family took me out of my home. I had 30 minutes to pack up what I could and leave with no sights of coming home. So that phone call was probably one of the more traumatic days of my life. And then I was living with my aunt and uncle, moved again, got a new job, and then I got the phone call, my grandma had passed away, and then 10 weeks later, my father had passed away. A few months later, my coworker passed away. So all within a year, a lot of tumultuous things were happening. And I moved back home. I also got a call that my apartment was being bulldozed, so we had to leave. So all's to say, the dust had settled when I moved back with my mom. And it was about a year later that that I was waking up, my heart was racing, I couldn't breathe, my stomach was really sick, and this went on for about 6 months. And I didn't think anything of it as far as anxiety because everything was fine. I was going to therapy for all of the trauma from my father, and I thought I was dealing with everything. What I didn't realize was that my body was still in fight or flight. And so when I went to the doctors, they took blood tests. I went to tons of different doctors. Nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And it became this kind of phantom problem that I was having. And it wasn't until I read a book where a character was having the exact same symptoms I was having that I realized it was actually panic attacks. And so I didn't go back to the doctors. I ended up just consuming as much content as I could to understand anxiety, to understand where I was coming from and what was really going on internally in my body. And that led me to intuitive eating, that led me to breath work, that led me to meditations. And then about a year later, I was trying to figure out really what my purpose and my passion was, and I went back to my story, and my story was really that I had anxiety and I was able to bust through that, and I was able to really manage my anxiety well. And with all of my friends coming to me, talking to me about this same stress and anxiety, and not really understanding why there wasn't enough resources, why wasn't everyone talking about this, coupled with my dad passing from being an alcoholic and the shame and the guilt that he carried with him, and wondering really, why aren't we talking about this? Why is there shame around this? There shouldn't be. Everyone has mental health. And so that's really what Spark Intention is all about. It's about ditching the stress, taking back your life, and feeling in alignment and in peace. And so I bring guests on to share their tips and tools, and I talk about my own tips and tools because everyone kind of deals with this differently. And so it's important to just open up the door, open up the conversation, as well as share so that we can all help one another become more peaceful and less stressed out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you here. For everyone who is tuning in, please be aware that we are doing our giveaways every so often throughout the show, and we're going to be giving away some CBD capsules. If you would like to win, drop us a comment, let us know that you're watching, as well as share the link to this show on your social media. If you have any questions, we also have these two lovely ladies here available to answer them. So anything that has to do with mindfulness, meditation, coping techniques, please let us know what's going on in your world so that we can also serve you. I think that's fair to say, right? So, Kelly, tell us a little bit about yourself as well. I would love to know where the genesis came from for you to really explore mindfulness and its techniques and open your studio as well.
Sure. I went away for my 40th birthday a couple years ago, and at the time, I think my kids were 8 and 10, and I had a really intense job doing commercial real estate financing. And the stress is real in that industry, I'll tell you. And so it was just the first time I had kind of slowed down in a long time. I went for a week to a spa, and the first day that I was there, I took a mindfulness class. And the teacher said, if you are wishing the past were any different or better than it was, you're living in the past. And if you're experiencing any sense of worry or anxiety, those don't exist in the present moment. They're about the future. And I was kind of like, huh, okay, shoot, I'm living my life in all of those states. And I realized that I spent very little time being present with what is. And so I was lucky enough that they offered some meditation classes at that spa, and I took a class and just had a very aha experience, went really deep in my meditation, and it was almost, well, like an awakening, and like I just remembered my essential nature, and like peace and calm washed over me for the first time in so long. And I was like, wow, that was awesome. I want to do that every day when I get home, to like bring the spa home with me. So I started doing it every day before my husband and kids got up, just for like 5 or 10 minutes a day, sometimes 20 minutes. And I just noticed so many positive changes in my life that were pretty drastic, as far as sleeping better and feeling more spiritually connected and way less stressed. And I also started noticing some things that were coming up, like tightness in my chest, and that I held my breath a lot. And it was because I was much more aware of my body. And so I made myself a promise that, whenever I noticed myself holding my breath, I was going to stop and do some breathing, and it just changed my life from there. So one thing led to another, and now I opened Anchor Meditation Studio.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which is based in San Francisco, correct?
Yeah, it is.
I love it. Yeah, well, we're going to go a little bit deeper into this because we have so much to learn today. I do have to ask, do either of you have any experience with CBD and using CBD in your practices?
Yeah, I do. I found out about CBD about 6-ish months ago, maybe, back in October. So I'm bad at math, but anyway. Found it in October, and I found the tinctures first, and I tried it, and I felt like my body felt more relaxed. And I decided to take one home with me, and I used it after my obstacle course races to kind of relax my muscles, release any tension in my body. And I also found, especially when I was in school and going through finals, it really helped me sleep because my body was so relaxed. So unlike melatonin, where I woke up really groggy, for me personally, CBD kind of had the same effect, but without the grogginess. And so it was a really beautiful way for me to kind of relax any stress or tension in my body so that I could really ease into sleep. And so oftentimes I'll use it for sleep, especially because I train a lot. So awesome. I use it for sleep, and mostly in sleep. Sometimes I'll add it to my breakfast shake in the daytime, but that's few and far between.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost at our giveaway, everyone. So if you are tuned in and you're hoping to win, be sure to leave us a comment and let us know that you're watching, and share this link to your social media so we can also get other people in here and learning about ways to cope with their anxiety. But before we announce our giveaway, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and with your CBD use, or do you use CBD?
To be honest, I have not used it much, but I recently got CBD massage.
Okay.
And I have to say it was amazing. I wasn't really expecting much, and it was just like a really deep, relaxing, almost like felt like my muscles were melting as the massage was going.
I've heard that before from people.
Yeah, and I was a little worried about driving. I called beforehand to see is it okay to drive afterwards, and they said yeah, it was totally fine, and I did feel completely fine, maybe a little overly relaxed, but completely, like myself afterwards, just with a very relaxed feeling in my muscles. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, it looks like my first winner's name just came in, which I actually love their name. So congratulations to Smashing Cougar 518. You have just won some CBD capsules from Hello MD. And just to inform everyone, we do have a bundle that is available. It's the Be Calm bundle on our website, available for 30% off through Sunday on the Hello MD website. So if you also want to experience the benefits and relaxation from CBD and using tinctures, go to hellomd.com and order the Be Calm bundle, available through Sunday. So, Jenna, let's get back to you and talk a little bit more about your podcast and Spark Intention.
Yeah.
You've been through so much.
Yeah.
And it's really incredible that you have found your voice. Was it scary for you to really begin and to start a podcast, and what was that experience like?
Yes, it was scary, and it's so natural for things like that to be scary. And so that's kind of the first thing that I always tell my clients and people who are really looking to elevate or step into something that they really want to do, but that's scary because it's an unknown and we don't know how it's going to end up. The thing that I always remind myself of is my purpose and my reason for doing this. And every time that I get nervous or scared, I think about that little girl that I was, who could have really benefited from what we're talking about and who could have really felt like she wasn't alone. And so whenever I come up with those fears, I think about her, and that's going to be different for everybody, their quote unquote why. But that is something that really helped me. Google University, it's free 99. I highly recommend it. I found everything on Google, and I just dove right in. And I think that sometimes when we might talk about messy bun, messy action, but that's what I love to call it, messy action. It's really not allowing your ego to kind of pop in and say, well, wait a minute, like all of these things could go wrong. You're just kind of taking the leap, and you're already in it before your ego can kind of catch up. And that's kind of the game that I had to play at first, before I got to a point where I had the confidence to start new things, and I had the confidence in myself to build things and try new things out without really having that fear take the front seat. So.
Amazing. And anxiety can manifest itself in so many different ways. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe some of the comments that you've received, or some of your more memorable moments and learning moments that you have received from your guests on the show?
Yes, I've interviewed so many people at this point, and it never ceases to amaze me how many different ways anxiety can manifest. It doesn't have to be panic attacks. Sometimes it can just be a tightness in the chest. Sometimes it can be sweating or your heart rate races a little bit. Sometimes it can be a phantom pain that nobody can figure out why it's there, or tension in the neck or shoulders. Sometimes it can be an eye twitch. I mean, literally everything you can almost trace back to some sort of stress or anxiety, especially if it's not explainable. Headaches, muscle aches, getting sick all the time is another one. So there's so many different things, and it comes up because of fears. It can come up because of past trauma. So it's not just enough to say, okay, I'm stressed because of one thing that's happening right now. It's, why am I always going back to this fight or flight? So you have to even take it a step back further. Oftentimes it comes from childhood, and something that we think is so silly or so ridiculous. Don't knock that out, because usually that's those points of whether we were embarrassed because of something or shame or something. That's usually where a lot of our trauma in every day comes from, is something's getting re-triggered constantly. So it might seem silly, but definitely a journaling practice has always been very helpful for me, to kind of just go back and see what's going on and what's getting re-triggered in that moment. I always said, one of the guests on the podcast too, talk about curiosity, and how curiosity has really kind of helped them with their self-exploration, because they're getting curious. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I sad right now? Why am I so happy right now? Why? And asking all those questions, exactly, and asking all of those questions. That was a huge light bulb moment for me, was yes, getting curious about yourself will open so many doors.
I love it. Seems like you're giving a lot of tools to people in order to explore themselves and their own mechanisms and coping techniques.
Yes.
I love it. And Kelly, I'm assuming that your classes are very similar in this way, that you're also giving people tools.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, actually, just piggybacking on what Jenna was saying, you know, meditation is actually a tool to help you witness your thoughts. And you must be able to witness your thoughts before you can ask why. Get curious about them and ask why. And that's the real magic of meditation. Yes, people talk about it relieves stress. It helps with better sleep. It helps with focus and productivity. It helps with creativity. But also it really helps change your life, because you begin to witness your thoughts and realize that a lot of them were imprinted on us, you know, before we were 7 years old. And so you can start to question some of those stories and choose different ones. You can literally scientifically rewire your neuropathways. And so if you're feeling anxious, you're not alone. I think over 90% of the respondents to our most recent survey said that one of the primary reasons that they meditate at Anchor Meditation is to relieve stress and anxiety. And by the time we are 20 years old, we have 10 million precognitive commitments in our mind.
Wow.
That's a lot. And you can liken that to computer screens, open computer screens. So they might be minimized windows, but I mean, I don't know about you, but I am about to have a panic attack when I have 20 computer screens up and my phone is beeping at me and ringing and dinging and emails are coming in.
Absolutely.
And everything. And so that's what we have in our minds. And so meditation is literally a tool to provide you with the opportunity to open up some of those windows and click X.
I love it.
And so that's how you relieve your stress. You're just closing down
Giving
windows
them
that
permission.
no longer serve you. Yeah.
It's okay to close those windows.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, everyone, we are just a few minutes away from our next giveaway. So just a friendly reminder that you should just let us know that you are tuned in. Drop any questions that you may have. Share the link to this show to your social media so that others may also learn about CBD and anxiety. And maybe let us know what you're doing in order to cope with your anxiety, because I'd love to know what others are doing. And it looks like we have a few audience questions that have already come in. So they are, for Jenna, have you noticed a preference in one form or the other that gives you better results, such as tincture or vape, when it comes to using CBD?
Yeah, well, I've only used the pills and I've used the tincture, and both I've found work really well for me. And I used Cured, the 500 milligram mint. It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's really good.
That's the tincture, correct?
The tincture, And then I've used Wildflower, the little pills. They work both really well. And I don't notice one per se works better than the other, but they both work and they taste good. I think sometimes some can have a little bit of a ropey kind of taste. I don't notice that, especially with the tincture, but also with the pill, because you're just swallowing it.
Yeah.
So I think if you have a taste preference, then maybe a flavored tincture might be your way to go. But as far as which one works better, they work similarly to the same.
Great. Yeah. And another viewer asked, when using for sleep, how often before you go to sleep are you taking your CBD dose? So I'm not sure if they're asking how often are you using it, but also how far before you go to bed. So
as far as often, I don't use it every night. It's really kind of a check-in with my body, and if I'm feeling a little anxious that night, because my anxiety tends to pop up right before bed. So I usually take it about 30 minutes before bed, and then I use it, I would say frequency, maybe once a week. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just enough for it to do what it needs to do for you as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
We always say we look for the least amount necessary for the desired effect.
There you go.
You don't want to have to use it every day, but if you need it every day, that's totally fine too.
Yeah, that works.
That's the beauty of CBD, that you can't overdo it. So it's one of those things. So once again, everyone, we are giving away capsules from Hello MD. We're really excited. And our next winner is RINAMP. RINAMP. Thank you for tuning in. Woohoo! Yeah, we're getting everybody hooked up with a little bit of CBD in their life. Our bundle also is available, the Be Calm bundle. It's available on the Hello MD website through Sunday for 30% off. So if you are looking for a really easy wellness technique here, these are capsules that you take just like any other pill. And that's what we're looking for, really easy mode of application. So I am now going to dive a little deeper into the meditation because I'm so excited to learn about this from you. And I am very curious as to who is coming to Anchor, what types of classes are you offering, why are people coming there?
Yeah, so people of all different ages are coming, which is so encouraging to see. We all need it for different reasons, but I would say the three primary that people come in is that they are experiencing stress or anxiety, that they are having trouble sleeping, which is obviously related to stress and anxiety, or they're maybe going through some life transition, like a breakup or a loss of a loved one or a job transition. And it's been really cool to see a lot of people just come home to themselves and also do some phenomenal things, make some great life decisions or improvements to be more in alignment with themselves. So
that's great. And you said that the number one reason that they are reporting, though, is that they are dealing with stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And we heard a little bit about fight or flight earlier.
Yeah.
What does that mean when people say that they are dealing with fight or flight? or do they know that they're dealing with this?
Yeah. No, I don't think people realize how often they're going into fight or flight mode. And fight or flight is when basically you can imagine like the amygdala is like your guard dog, and it's which is
imagine part of your brain.
Yeah, which is part of your brain. And when your guard dog sees someone approaching your doorway, its job is to bark and make a lot of noise, and it alerts your prefrontal cortex, and your all of your levels rise. So your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure increases and you go into fight or flight mode. That's super helpful when you're being chased by a tiger in a jungle, but it is not necessary at all when you get a text message from your boss saying, I need to talk to you later today. And you go, just straight into that mode. Or when someone cuts you off and in the car in front of you cuts you off and you just lose
Freak
your
out.
mind and have road rage. It's just not necessary. And so there was a Harvard study done 20 years ago that shows that on average at that time, people were going into fight or flight mode 15 to 20 times a day. And so what happens is your body, it wants to be the most efficient that it can be. And so it uses the logic, well, I keep going up into fight or flight mode, and instead of going all the way back down to rest and relaxation, I'm gonna stay up here. I'm not gonna lower my heart rate as much. I'm not gonna. Yeah, and so we find so many people living in a chronic state of stress for that reason. And 20 years ago when that Harvard study was done, that was before
iPhones and all
email,
the technology.
iPhone, technology. And I read the other week that, and I would love to verify this actually if anyone knows where this came from, but I read that in 1 month we consume more information than 2 generations ago did in a lifetime. So, and I believe it because if you think on your cell phone, you have access to any song you want to listen to, any fact you want to know, any movie you want to watch. I mean, there's just so much information coming at us. And so one thing that's cool is I think the younger generation really feels the effects of that and really values how meditation can help them calm down their nervous system and come back to their center and find that quiet stillness within because it's just constant. I mean, even when I drive my kids to school in the morning, they're on their phones. I'm embarrassed to say it, I'm not proud, but they're on their phones. Well, that's 10 minutes when I was a child that you just had to kind of
hang out,
relax and daydream and calm down and, whatever. So we all need it more than ever.
Yeah. I dare say our generation now especially it's all about being right or wrong.
Right.
We'll be at dinner sometimes and a potential fact comes up and what do?
Check it.
We Google it. And then we're like, wait, I think it was, and somebody at the table inevitably is looking it up.
Yeah.
We can't just be okay with the mysteries of life.
Exactly.
So, for the newbies and people who are really interested in meditation, but maybe are a bit afraid or even anxious about starting a practice, what are some tips for them, or what would you tell a person who's a bit apprehensive about starting a meditation practice?
I just think there's absolutely nothing to be apprehensive about. I think there's a lot of common misperceptions that like you have to sit still and with a straight spine and not scratch your itch and everything, and that's great, and there are purposes to those types of meditation, but really there are ways to reach a meditative state where you can be absolutely comfortable and at ease, and if you need to shift your body for a more comfort, we in the studio encourage you to do so, and oftentimes people are thinking that they're a bad meditator, and there is no such thing as a bad meditator. And they think that because they can't stop their thoughts. And in fact, we have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. That's a thought every 1 to 3 seconds. Your thoughts are not going to stop, and oftentimes your thoughts are not your friend, because once you start to notice your thoughts, they're often very judgmental and critical of yourself. And so myself, when I had my aha moment with meditation, it was the teacher explained that just let your thoughts go by like clouds without getting too attached to them, and be curious about them and come back to yourself with compassion. And I realized, oh my gosh, I've tried meditating before and I've liked it, but when my thoughts came, I was totally talking poorly to myself. Like, oh my God, you're doing it wrong. Why can't you stop thinking? Da, 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 da. And so that just, for me, really enabled me to go so much deeper in my meditation that I was able to yeah, just crave it ever
I love
since.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
In my yoga classes, we always end the class with a meditation. And it was
Cool.
really enlightening to me as a teacher one time because, one of my guided meditations, I encourage people to envision a light in front of them, this teeny tiny little dot that's growing. And then I tell people, or I encourage them, now give your light a color.
Yeah.
And someone after the class was like, that was awful. I couldn't decide what color it was to be. I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do?
Yeah.
But at least they were focused on that light versus anything else outside of the room or their body at that moment.
Totally.
And that was okay. And I had to remind her, well, then your light was just ever shifting.
Yeah.
Just like life. That's okay.
Rainbow light.
Yes, exactly. I love it. Well, it looks like we have a few minutes till our next giveaway, everyone. But we do have a question that came in. So if you guys are interested in winning the capsules today, once again, drop us a line, let us know that you're watching, share the link to this show to your social media, and just put the word out there that Hello MD is educating people about all things CBD and wellness in general. And the question that did come in does have to do with CBD. And I think I'm going to direct it to Jenna because you are using CBD more often. We had a viewer who asked, how can you use CBD for focus as well as stress reduction? My advice as a yoga instructor who does infuse classes with CBD, I would say, start low, go slow, and try it, half an hour to an hour before a practice. Now, have you ever done anything similar to that? Or do you use CBD with an intention?
Yeah, there was a focus box actually that Hello MD gifted me with. And so, yes, CBD can be used for focus. And I think the beautiful word that you just used was intention. So when you have a set intention for anything, you will find drastic results that might not have been there if you hadn't set that focus and intention in the first place. So with CBD, it's kind of a similar effect, whether it's for focus, sleep, or anything. But for me, I always just feel it mostly in my body. So when my body is relaxed, it's kind of like that fight or flight. Like things are kind of calming down in here, so my mind can get there as well. And so, especially when I'm writing, because I am a writer, I need focus. And focus doesn't always happen when my body's really tense. It happens when I'm in a creative space, which is much calmer, much more in flow. So if I'm sitting down and I have CBD, take it an hour or a half hour beforehand and set that intention for yourself. Just have a quiet moment to just say, I'm going to set the intention to take this and just let my body relax and focus.
I love it. Thank you for that advice. That's beautiful.
Thank you for that advice.
So it looks like we have our third winner. Congratulations, Immortal Bluegill 461. Woohoo! I like these names that are coming in today. You have just won some CBD capsules. Our Be Calm bundle is available on HelloMD.com. That includes the capsules and a tincture for 30% off through Sunday. So if you're looking to apply some of these techniques and tactics to your lifestyle, feel free to go to HelloMD.com and order the Be Calm bundle. So I love it. I'm so excited. I just love knowing that there are such natural tools available to us. And so many techniques such as meditation and perhaps mantras. Do you ladies use mantras in your daily life? Yeah?
I do, all day long.
Can you? Okay, well then let's start there because I think a lot of people are unaware of what a mantra is.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing about mantras?
Yeah, so when you meditate, the first step of meditation is mindfulness, which is present moment awareness. And so typically you choose a point for your awareness during your meditation. Most often it's the breath, but if it's not the breath, it could be sound or it could be like something visual, like a candle, or it could be a mantra. And a mantra just provides a single point of awareness for you to come back to. And so probably the simplest mantra in the world is so hum, where you just breathe in so and breathe out hum. And that can be very calming to the nervous system. But then there are I don't know, I guess I would call them playful mantras, or I like affirmative mantras too. But yeah, just little reminders that you can use for yourself. And so you can use it during a longer meditation and just kind of repeat something that is pleasing to you, or you can use it throughout the day. Like the one I probably use the most is come back to center, and I'll just kind of,
with the fingers.
I'll do it with my fingers, and it's just a way of like getting me and my body and my mind and aligned with being in the present moment and coming back to center. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And do you also use mantras or repeat any mantras?
Yes. I think the one that I use, especially when I'm in a panic attack, I just put my hand on my heart and my hand on my belly, and I breathe deeply, and I say, I am safe in my body. And it's just a reminder that I am safe in my body. I think there's a big disconnect there when all you want to do is get out of your body. And so I think that for me has been pretty much a pillar of getting through those panic attacks. Yeah.
So we have a question that came in from our audience. People around me are so high-strung and their anxiety is contagious. What can I do to keep from taking on their emotions?
So funny because we were just, I know, and we were just talking about this before the show about empaths, and I highly recommend that this person check if they're an empath, because it changed my life to know that fact. But there's some great grounding techniques that you can use. There's great centering techniques, shielding if you're doing energy shielding, something you can do in a very quiet, safe place. Could just be a bathroom, and just take that moment for yourself and imagine a bright white light just emanating from you and giving gratitude for that shield, and knowing that that'll keep you kind of grounded and protected from any energy. That's a pretty woo-woo like answer. But there's also other things that I have said, like, this energy isn't mine, this energy isn't serving me, and it's not about me. And I can kind of just move on from there and kind of drop it. Yeah.
We talked a little earlier about Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements.
Yes.
Also,
absolutely, yeah.
recognizing that it's not about you. Don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
That's a huge one, yeah.
Kelly, what would you say to somebody who is like, you know what, my husband or my kid even is so anxious, it's making me anxious?
I definitely can sense other people's energy, and I have done a lot of work. The thing for me that has been the most helpful is to actually use the mantra. I must be a screen, not a sponge. And that is like, let it go through you. It's not yours. Be light and breezy. It's just like wind passing by, and it's not mine. And so, I used to sponge up other people's energy and take it on as my own and feel it as tension in my body. And I can walk into a room and, just feel what's going on. It's just very highly sensitive. And so, be a screen, not a sponge is a great one. I also sometimes visualize a waterfall just like washing over me and letting go of anything that's not mine.
I love
and
it.
maybe asking myself what's mine and what's theirs.
Yeah. And for anyone that this is resonating with, that is tuned in, if any of these mantras really do resonate with you, I would encourage you to actually write it down, tape it on your mirror in your bathroom. And that way, every time you brush your teeth or you look and check your makeup, it's a really great way to remind yourself. I'm going to have to do the screen, not a sponge one. Because I tend to take things on as well. And I love to take on emotion for the rest of the world, because I used to think that made me a better person. But it really just made me heavier energied, and it's hard, huh?
It is.
Yeah, it's so funny. My therapist had told me that back when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
She was like, you're being a sponge, not a screen. It's so funny you brought that up. That stuck with me obviously if it's stuck with me for years, but that's huge.
I love it. So we also received a question that it has to do with spirituality versus meditation. Does meditation need to conflict with my religion?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Every major religion points to meditation for thousands of years.
Yes.
So it does not, we're a modern secular studio, but we are still spiritual. We're all spiritual beings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your own spirituality that you're tapping into. Me personally, I feel like I'm tapping into the God within me.
There you go.
That's what I feel, but you can, come and meditate and feel whatever you want. I think meditation is listening for God, and prayer, which I was raised in a Christian household, is talking to God. And so they're both part of any spiritual practice. And I think it's really one of the most beautiful things about meditation is reconnecting with yourself and coming home to yourself, and that is a very spiritual connection.
Absolutely. It's honoring what's right here,
Yeah.
which we all should be doing more
Yeah.
of. Well, everyone, we're just a few minutes away from our very last giveaway. So once again, if you would like to win some CBD capsules, go ahead and drop us a line. Let us know that you're watching. Share the link to this show to your social media. And we're going to add one more thing, but let us know what your favorite mantra is. If you have something that you love to repeat to yourself, or maybe that you're teaching your kids to also teach themselves, let us know what that looks like or what it is, because we want to know. So I look forward to our last winner, but before we get there, ladies, it's been such a pleasure hearing from you both. This is really just such a beautiful conversation, one that I think is long overdue, that many of us should be having almost every day, reminding others that they can really live with ease and grace. Mm-hmm. Jenna, would you mind telling us what are some of your goals for the future and what's looking ahead for Spark Intention, and what are you doing these days?
Yes, so I just started mentoring women on stress and anxiety. Something that's coming up for me is, as a writer, writing is my sole passion. I love that so much. So writing books is something that I definitely want for my future, and something that will happen when I write it and when it comes to me. And also speaking and hosting workshops is another big goal of mine. As far as Spark Intention goes, just continuing on with its mission and purpose of helping others and sharing with others that they're not alone in this journey at all. In fact, it's extremely common, and that alone can be really comforting. So providing that comfort and continuing to bring guests on and share their tools, and it's really been such a blessing to have that in my life, and I've learned so much from it. So just continuing on with that.
Awesome. And for those who want to follow you and keep in touch, where can they find you?
You can find me. I hang out on Instagram like all day. So you can, I really do. I love it there. That's where I connect and where I talk with my listeners and ask questions. If they want to know something and have me bring it up on the podcast, it's Jenna.Monaco, and the dot is just a period. Monaco, like the country. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. And Kelly, same for you.
Where to find me?
Yeah. Well, what's ahead?
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, right now I'm working on a virtual studio, so just putting some meditations up online so that more people can see what to expect from the studio and benefit from the meditations. And so I'm really excited about that. We have online teacher training available already on the website. So we have 3 courses. One's a 25-hour Foundations of Meditation course. One's a 25-hour Teaching Meditation to Kids and Teens course. And the other is a more intensive 200-hour course for which those are prerequisites. But the 2 shorter courses are available online for people who can't make it into the studio. And that's been great because it's just spreading meditation to all the places that need it. So I'm super excited about the virtual studio, and beyond that, hopefully someday we'll have more physical locations. Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And where can everyone find you, your website, as well
Yeah,
as social
they can
media?
come to our website, which is anchormeditation.com, and we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest at Anchor Meditation.
I love it. So we have 2 more notes from our audience members. We have one teacher that wanted to just share with us, comparison is the opposite of joy. Which that resonates.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us can say that. And we also had somebody ask if we can repeat some of the mantras again. I think maybe some people are taking notes, which is great.
Awesome.
So would you mind sharing a few of your favorite mantras and repeating any of the ones that we've already talked about today?
Sure. So I think that I talked about come back to center. Come back to center.
I'm gonna have to do that one later.
Yeah. And what else did I say? So hum. And I think that's it. Another one I use all the time is I am enough. I have enough. I am enough, I have enough, I do enough. Yeah. And that's just really a good reminder on a lot of days.
Great one for a lot of working moms too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I am enough is another one for me. And then I put my hand on my heart, hand on my belly, breathe deeply, and just say, I am safe in my body. And another one that I often say is, I am safe right here in this present moment. That one helps me kind of come back to center. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, ladies, thank you both for being here. This has been really wonderful.
Thank you.
It looks like we have our last winner. So congratulations to Jean Bean 64.
Love that.
I just love these names today.
I love that.
So Jean Bean, you just won some capsules. We have our Be Calm bundle that is available on the HelloMD website through Sunday for 30% off, which includes the capsules and a tincture. So if you're looking to apply CBD to your lifestyle in a very accessible way, as we spoke about earlier, tinctures are a great way to go, and the capsules, it doesn't really get any easier than that.
No, yeah.
So congratulations, Jean Bean 64, and thank you to everyone that has been tuned in today. Be sure to check in next week. Our episode will be Spark Your Joy with THC, and it's going to be hosted by the lovely Pamela Hatfield, founder of HelloMD. We're going to be talking about all things cannabis and THC and what that actually looks like in a daily lifestyle. So everyone, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And until next week. Bye.
Bye.